Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news, so guys, imagine the scene. The Eagles sitting pretty with a solid roster, a quarterback who's been doing an incredible job leading the offense, but right now there's a buzz. A real buzz around one of the biggest names in the league, Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick King Henry, the bulldozer, the tank that has been a force of nature in the NFL for years. And the rumors are heating up. Could the Eagles actually make a move to bring him in? And what would that mean for their Super Bowl aspirations? Well, stay with me because this story is not just about a player, it's about a potential game-changer in the NFC East and the entire NFC landscape. Now, before we dive into the specifics of the potential trade, let's set the stage. Derrick Henry, as many of you know, has been one of the most dominant power backs in the league since he burst onto the scene. Over his career, he's carried the ball over 230 times, rushing for nearly 502 yards and scoring 90 touchdowns. That's not just production, that's a statement. His yards per carry, consistently around 4.7, and his ability to break tackles, 18 broken tackles in 2025 alone, make him a nightmare for defenses. He's also a workhorse, averaging around 85 carries per game this season, and he's still showing no signs of slowing down. His PFF grade remains elite, sitting at 81.6 in 2024, and his yards after contact are impressive, with 200 yards extra YAC in his career, showing how much he can extend plays and keep the chains moving. What's fascinating about Henry is not just his raw power, but his efficiency. When stacked against boxes, he averages 2.4 yards per contact, similar to Nick Chubb's 2022 surge for the Browns. This guy is a wrecking ball, capable of smashing through defenses with ease, especially in short yardage situations, boosting rushing success percentages and forcing defenses to account for him on every play. His career YAC of 200 yards makes him not just a power back, but a versatile weapon who can turn even minimal opportunities into significant gains. And crucially, he's remained relatively injury-free, which adds to his value. An elite back with durability, a combination that every team dreams of. Now, the interesting part is where he might land. The Baltimore Ravens currently sit at 3-2, but let's be honest, their record masks some instability. They're averaging about 120 rushing yards per game, which on paper looks good, but there's a real need for Lamar Jackson to have more weapons in the passing game, especially at wide receiver. Without that, the EPA per rush drops to -0.10, meaning defenses can stack the box against Lamar, knowing there's no consistent threat downfield. The Ravens' cap situation is tight. They're at around $12 million, while the Eagles have about $10 million available, making a trade feasible from a cap perspective. The Ravens are also juggling extensions for players like Majabuik and some younger guys, which tightens their flexibility. If they trade Henry, they could free up around $16 million for 2026, but that would come with a cap hit of around $16 million that year. Baltimore seems to be aiming for balance, trying to shift towards a more aerial attack, but losing Henry would mean giving up some of that power in their backfield. Meanwhile, the Eagles, with their $10 million cap space, could make a move that would elevate their offense to a whole new level. Imagine Derrick Henry lining up behind Jalen Hurts. The effect? It's not just adding a big back, it's creating a nightmare scenario for defenses. With Henry's rushing efficiency projected to increase by about 25%, the Eagles could see their rushing yards jump from around 115 yards per game, good, but not great, to being one of the top rushing offenses in the league. We're talking about a potential 0-yard season for Henry, with around 12 touchdowns, adding a new dimension to Philly's already explosive offense. It would turn the Eagles into a true run-first team if they want to be, making play-action passes even more effective, especially with Jalen Hurts' ability to run and throw. impact on the team's overall offensive efficiency would be huge. When you add a back like Henry, who averages 4.8 yards per carry in 2025, alongside Hurts's play action, defenses would be forced to dedicate resources to stopping the run, opening up the field for receivers and tight ends. Plus, Henry's ability to gain yards after contact, plus 15 yards contact per run, would keep the chains moving on third down, maintaining longer drives and wearing down opposing defenses. And let's not forget, the Eagles have been solid on defense this season, so adding a power back like Henry would give them that extra punch needed to control the clock in close games and dominate in the playoffs. Now, talking about the postseason, this move could be a real game changer. The Eagles, with Henry, could see their win probability in short yardage situations increase by about 20%. Imagine that: more touchdowns on third and short, less reliance on trick plays or risky throws, and a more balanced attack overall. The statistics don't lie. In recent seasons, teams that can effectively run the ball in the playoffs tend to go further. Henry's presence would elevate the Eagles' chances of making a deep run, especially in cold weather conditions or tight games where ground control becomes crucial. And looking even further ahead, the Super Bowl odds would shift dramatically. Currently, the Eagles are sitting at plus 650 to win it all, but with Henry as an added X factor, those odds could plummet to around plus 320. That's nearly having the implied probability of winning the big game. The Ravens, on the other hand, would see their odds decline from around plus 7,500 to a more manageable figure, but the division and the conference would feel the ripple effects of this move. The Eagles would instantly become one of the top contenders, not just in the NFC, but across the league. Their chances of dominating the NFC are already strong, but this addition would be the final piece to turn them into Super Bowl favorites. Now, let's talk about the timing. The NFL trade deadline is coming up on November 4th, and this could be the move that defines the playoff race. Philadelphia has been patient, watching the market and waiting for the right opportunity. With a team that's already performing well, Jalen Hurts leading a versatile offense, a defense that's been playing at a high level, adding Derrick Henry could be the piece that pushes them over the top. It's a bold move, yes, but one that could cement their legacy as a team that wasn't just content to compete, but aimed to dominate. The vision is clear: Henry in Philly crushing defenses, opening lanes, and helping the Eagles forge a new dynasty. And for the Ravens, it's not just about losing a star. It's about reimagining their identity on offense. They'd need to find new ways to generate offense through their passing game, possibly relying more on Lamar Jackson's arm and their young receivers. It's a transition, yes, but one that could lead to a more balanced attack in the long run. Still, for now, the focus remains on whether the Eagles can strike this deal, if they will, and how it will reshape the NFC East and the league as a whole. So in summary, folks, the potential acquisition of Derrick Henry by the Philadelphia Eagles could be one of the most impactful moves of the season. It's about power, versatility, and strategically positioning themselves for a Super Bowl run. The Eagles, with their solid core, are eyeing that championship, and adding a force like Henry might be the final piece they need. The NFC East is already competitive, but this move could tip the scales, leaving rivals scrambling to catch up. The trade window is closing in, and we'll be watching closely because this story is just getting started. The NFL landscape might never be the same if the Eagles pull this off. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you think Derrick Henry would make the Eagles unstoppable? Or are there concerns about cap space, chemistry, or the overall fit? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. Remember, this isn't just speculation, it's about dreaming big and thinking about the possibilities. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting your Eagles. This is a team that's always pushing for more, always fighting for that Super Bowl. And with moves like this, who knows? Maybe this season is the one where everything clicks and the Eagles finally lift that trophy once again. Thanks for watching, and as always, fly Eagles fly.